Hey, it's the Flash After Show on AFTERBUZZ TV. Tonight we're breaking down Season 3, Episode 16, called Into the Speed Force. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, the Flash After Show. How's everybody doing?
Great.
Good. I like that sound music. Also known as music. I'm just such a big fan of sound music, personally.
Yeah. You're gonna love next
visual
week.
music.
Oh yeah, the musical episode, the sound musical episode. Should we do some intros? I'm Jeffrey Masters at Tweet from Jeff Masters 1. To my left is Yael.
Hello, I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. And I'm in the chat. Everyone is saying hello and being so friendly. Hello.
Fantastic. And Tauri.
Hi, I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. It's TAURIJAY.
Hi guys. Yael mentioned that she's in the chat. If you are not watching live but want to, we do this at 9:10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time right after the Flash airs. And if you can't make it live, we'd love hearing from you throughout the week, reading your tweets, your YouTube comments, your iTunes comments. You can subscribe to us there. Subscribe to us everywhere, okay? Please. So, what do we think about Into the Woods? I mean, Speed Force.
This was a heavy episode.
It was.
Everything felt so heavy, which is weird because this is such a goofy show. I was like, why? Why is this happening?
Yeah. But you know what though? We left it off at a really freaking dramatic place last week. With like the potential engagement going down, with Wally taking the Speed Force. It's just like shit hit the fan.
Yeah.
I cut you off though. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say I liked the really like sullen nature of it. We've been having a few like really fairly goofy episodes. So like I like that we got stakes and consequences and some sweet cameos.
Okay, that is where I disagree. When we were in the Speed Force and we had our like rotating cast of recurring characters, I felt no stakes. I felt no urgency. He was talking to Eddie Thawne, the first guy we see.
Yeah.
And they just had like a lovely casual chat, kind of like about the weather and like about like the new wall coloring and like the police department, like maybe like we'll repaint it darker gray. And I just felt like you're here to find Wally West. Eddie Thawne is not going to give that to you. On to the next room. Let's keep it moving. You guys disagree?
No, I'm with you. I agree. I think he went into the room and then had a chat. Then
Yeah.
went into the other one and saw a baby that was crying but also asleep. You know?
Yeah, I was like, I feel like if Eddie was like, hey, like, I just lit a cigarette, do you want one? Barry would have been like, yeah, sure.
Hey, we got time.
Why not?
Open a bottle of wine.
I mean, what would you guys have? I like really dense dialogue-y, like two-person scenes. It felt to me like a play. Like it felt to me like they're on stage doing a bit about consequences and sacrifice. And then for like all the normies, they threw in a fight scene at the end of each one of them.
You're exactly right. And
I liked the fight scene.
you're right. It was like one-on-one talk, fight. One-on-one talk, fight. But just the one-on-one thing, like it just, like again, it like lacked urgency. You are a man on a mission, and it's not going to be easy. So keep it moving and get out fast. What's the chat saying?
Liberty in the chat says the Speed Force was a lot meaner this time. And Renji says Speed Force is giving Barry tough love. But Charlie in Charge says the Speed Force was anticlimactic, and I kind of agree. Also, Emma Frost says the Speed Force was a drama queen.
Exactly.
I totally agree. At the end, when they were saving Wally, and Barry was not allowed to stay because he has to go save Iris, my thought was the Speed Force doesn't care about Iris. She's not a speedster. They don't care.
The Speed Force has no chill. So when Eddie Thawne was saying, you know, we like don't take that lightly, and like you had to treat us better. Who is that we? Is that on behalf of the Speed Force?
Yeah. So Eddie and Ronnie and Snart were being the embodiment of the Speed Force, which is why I felt like Barry couldn't have gone in there like guns a-blazing, because he's essentially fighting the whole realm that he's in. It's like trying to destroy, or trying to like contend with the whole universe.
I get that, and I totally understand them being the embodiment. It made a lot of sense because it was 3 people that sacrificed themselves.
Yeah.
That said, when they were like, we didn't sacrifice ourselves for the greater good, we did it for you. I was like, no, Eddie did it for the greater good. Because he sacrificed himself so that Eobard wouldn't exist.
Technically, though, he did it at the moment that Eobard was about to kill Barry.
But also removed him from existence.
Right. Potato.
It's not like he took the bullet. All right, go on.
You know what this episode really was? It was the show being like, man, Gorilla City was expensive. Let's have kind of a bottle episode. Let's take these sets. We got them. Let's get these people, have a fun little cameo, and then let's just chill with that for a bit.
That's fair. I really like the cameos. Good. They're so great. I love seeing these people back, and I like that they're not alternate Earth versions of themselves, and they're not, memories. They're embodiments. They're speaking on behalf of someone, and I think it was really nice to see them and know that they can be used.
Yeah, and I also like that we got the larger dimensional, or I guess dimension. What do you call it? The larger DC verse aspect with Snart having sacrificed himself on a different show, and they bring that back in so that you remember that these are all part of one shared universe.
Yeah.
Very clever, yeah. And I did enjoy the little fights too that happened. It did add some a different speed variation, a different energy to the show. But when Zoom, the Black Flash, and was chasing the actual Flash, they had this one long shot through the hallway, and they're running in the ceiling and the floor. That was cool. That was very exciting.
Yeah.
Tell me this: when he was on top of Barry, was about to kiss him, but said, no homo. Barry's mouth was turning black. Is that kind of like the time wrath? Because it's a wreath.
Yeah.
Dementors?
Technically, Wraith.
Dementors?
What did I say? Wrath? Wraith.
Wrath.
Sorry.
Wreath, which is one of those little things you put over horses' necks. And
Okay.
also
Or
on
a
your
door on the holidays.
Yeah.
So that's
I would
because
love-
of the embodiment of the Speed Force. That's that.
They're Dementors.
The Dementor
Thank
time wraiths are necessarily, you could say that they're the guardians of time. So they are connected to the Speed Force, but they're not necessarily the embodiment of them.
I think you're a guardian of time.
Maybe I am. One could say I might be a Lord of Time.
It's a Doctor Who reference for those who aren't getting
Thank
it.
you.
That would be me.
Thank you very much.
I was helping Jeff.
Yes. One could say I'm a Master of Time.
That's a Legends of Tomorrow reference.
I'm a master. Zzz.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a This Show reference. Speaking of time, Lord of Time, do we know if or if not time moves in the same speed as normal world as it does in the Speed Force?
I believe we know that it does not.
It doesn't, though. I feel like in this episode specifically, they were definitely tracking him in real time.
Yeah.
So I think specifically in this episode, it was like a 1-to-1. But usually the time in the Speed Force is relatively amorphous. Like it is. There is a present, but it also exists in all time.
Yes.
Yes.
Fascinating.
What he said.
Okay, and then more clarification questions. When
Yes.
Barry takes off his middle thing, the beeping tracker,
Yes.
the center tether.
Yes. One might call
Jesus
it a
Christ.
tether.
And then he touches it to Black Flash Zoom, who with this crazy face, he he disappears.
Uh-huh.
Why would a tether do that?
I don't know how that worked.
I thought you were the Lord of Time. WTF?
It's true, but I'm not the Lord of Tethers.
Ah.
That would be Tiana. She's out this week on assignment.
dang.
Darn it.
I feel
That's what the
like
T stands for.
Yes.
I feel like it was this device that tethered, right? And so because Black Flash is part of the Speed Force, attacking him with a tether is like what's the word I'm looking for?
Like a counter.
Yep, that's the word.
Like a counter energy. Or,
Yeah. And so like because he's not allowed to be tethered, the tether hitting him made him explode or whatever.
I like that.
Thanks, I just made that up.
I mean, but I
Interesting.
still like it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Hey,
Aw.
do you want to get Black Flash in here? Hey.
I keep saying Black Flash, but was it actually just Zoom?
Well, Zoom turned into Black Flash.
Oh, he did?
Yes. So when Zoom was pulled in by the time wreaths,
Mentor.
he basically became Black Flash, which is also you see him as Black Flash in Legends of Tomorrow, in all his like weird faced glory.
Oh, he has that face in Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Right, because didn't he, when he was destroyed or whatever, didn't we see this occur to him?
We saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it the what's his name who played the like original Jay Garrick in our show, not
Teddy
the current
Sears?
Jay Garrick? Is that
That is
him?
the actor.
Yes. Did he play him in Legends?
No, it was just the monster version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Teddy Sears is gone, sadly.
I mean, he could have been there behind all the makeup. He's like, I'm not.
I guess
doing
that's a more
anything right
expensive
now."
actor.
Yeah.
They needed the cheaper one. I was just laughing at my notes too because it said Snart shoots him with a gun and Barry just sighed. Like that was just like my kind of issue with it. He's like, he shot the door or the handle. Covered in ice, and Barry's like, darn it.
I think it was that now I have to deal with this.
Right.
Less about the ice, because when he did break the ice, he just.
I think it was a combination of the writing and acting and like the directing.
Okay.
To your point before, you said that this was just kind of like a filler episode after to raise money.
Well,
I know you were saying it
that is
facetiously
not-
and jokingly.
Yeah, but he did not say it was a filler episode, because this very much was moved the plot forward.
It absolutely did, especially back on Earth, our Earth, which we'll talk about. But my question is,
Yes. Bottle episode. Refer to it as a bottle episode.
a bottle.
Yes.
Do we think that this show would do better with like it has 23 episodes with maybe like 20 or 18?
That's an excellent question.
Like a little less time to tell the story to make it more concise?
I think because Legends does that, it might work out for this show. But I think that this episode was super vital because we understood that not only did Barry in the future create this prison, but that I feel like basically they said, in the future, you're going to create this. So therefore, whoever's stuck in it for now, you're obviously in the future going to be able to pull them out.
Right.
Like it was a very clear, this is a temporary fix.
Yeah.
And we brought, we got Wally back. We got rid of Jesse, which we'll talk about and makes me sad.
Yeah.
But like, I think this was, as heavy as I said this episode was, it was super vital that we had it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, and it's always nice to journey into the Speed Force, which is I think really cool. And the only thing that I came away wondering was why it was necessary to always have a speedster in the trap. And that's the only thing I had come away with. Like in my mind, the reason it couldn't be Barry is spoilers for the comic. I don't know if it applies to here, but like because he is the Speed Force, and so like if you trap the Speed Force, if you trap the future Speed Force in the current Speed Force, does that negate the Speed Force? So it's like this whole thing becomes this weird anti-cyclical thing.
I know what you mean.
So,
As much as I can.
Right.
No, I think that
It's a
the
paradox.
Show,
That's where we're going.
I think this show kind of explained it because, as we know, Jay Garrick comes in and takes Wally's place. Yay! I think this show kind of explained it, meaning that like it's like an eye for an eye, and there is this hole that needs to be filled at every point, but they never said why.
Yeah.
the holes there.
I mean, it's possible that that's how Future Flash made this prison for some stupid reason.
Maybe, yes, true. Maybe it's also just, you're right. Maybe it's that, like, we can't change the future, and, like, it's like someone, I think, died in timeline, and someone else then had to die because, like, this.
Right.
It's like that.
Yeah,
Like a
where
balance.
there's death, there's always death.
Yeah.
I want to point out, because you definitely noticed it, and Renji in the chat is pointing out that Speed Force Snart says to Jay about his golden age, which is a reference.
Yeah, it's a cute little reference because Jay Garrick is the Golden Age Flash. It's really cute.
Yeah, I like that.
I
Yeah.
just want to make sure we note that for anyone who missed that Easter egg.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Did anyone predict that Jay Garrick would be the one that saved the day?
It did occur to me that they could call someone else in. I wish we would have seen that, because him just showing up and Barry going, are you real or are you another one of these guys, was a very fair question. And then when he's like, no, I'm real, they called me. Did they? I mean, that's cool and all, but how are they calling? And
He said
did
that Cisco
they?
went to the
Well, yeah,
Earth.
he went to.
Right. I just, did they?
Yeah.
I don't trust anyone.
I'm gonna say this that like I really like seeing Jay Garrick. Just having a live action Jay Garrick is heartwarming. And in John Wesley Shipp, great. I wish that his character didn't show up to like save the day because I wanted Barry to learn the lesson that he needed to learn. And I feel like Jay Garrick taking his spot kind of stalled that.
Yeah.
He does come in and save the day a lot.
Yeah.
Well, and that
Like
is
some kind of hero or something.
Right, but Barry's supposed to be a hero, and people in the chat earlier would be like, Barry is a
Whiner.
villain.
I mean, he's a very flawed hero. Was it on this show
I mean,
that I
that-
was comparing him to a Greek hero with like?
it was not.
Oh, well, maybe I said it in my dreams, but he's very much like a Greek hero. Like he has this very specific flaw that will always lead to his downfall.
And that is why I like him so much. Like, I enjoy watching the show and that because he's not perfect.
Yeah.
You know, an hour of Jay Garrick, you need to show more flaws. I just think that like every show like this, be it having superpowers or magic or anything else, they can fall into the trap of just like using like a secret potion to save the day when they need to.
Right.
A la like Jay Garrick coming in. And it just doesn't make it as interesting for the viewers, like you said, because you don't learn the lesson
Yeah.
as the hero.
Which I think now that you've said that, I've realized that in this episode they did a really good job of concisely getting rid of all of Barry's, all of his, safety nets. Like in one episode, they basically benched everyone who could help him and were like, "You got to do this on your own," which I think was really smart now because we have. I don't know how many episodes left. I can't count numbers, but like now, like his character as a whole has to kind of figure it out without any extra speedsters, without anyone with any extra knowledge than he has. I mean, he has his team, but like it's just him and Savitar in terms of the battle.
That's a really fantastic point. Jesse Quick is gone and Wally West has been benched.
Yeah.
Huh. Do you... Interesting. I'm just trying to now imagine, like, who else are they bringing in?
Well, I mean, it's extra interesting because when Jesse was like, I want to go and deal with this, they were like, we're waiting until we have 3 speedsters. Like,
Yeah.
one can't do it, we need 3. And so by the end of the episode, they went, we said you need 3, but we also screwed you over.
Also, like, this is not a kind of villain that seems that, like, the Arrow would be able to help with that much.
No.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, that's kind of, like, out of the picture already.
Oh man.
I'm now trying to think of all of the other shows. Supergirl.
Yeah.
Supergirl could help, yeah. And maybe Firestorm. Who else do we have?
I absolutely think though Supergirl, not to harp on a different show, but like they forget that she's fast. They don't use that ever on that show.
Yeah, she mostly like flies very fast. She never does like ground speed fast stuff.
Yeah, so she should come in and help. She's basically a speedster
Yeah.
with other powers.
Good point. Do we know how Cisco knew that they were ready to come back? Because he opened the portal for them in the Speed Force.
I think he was holding it there from the moment that he sent Jay Garrick in.
Oh.
I mean, that would be my guess. I don't think they were explicit about it.
We can assume that whatever they put onto Barry originally to tether him, but also to monitor his vitals, was also then applied to Jay. So when the tether was handed over, they got
Fantastic.
yeah.
I'll do it. Okay, and then so back on Earth.
I'm really good at making up answers today.
Nice.
It is so appreciated.
Thanks.
Back on our Earth,
Yeah.
Jesse Quick is trying to save the GD Day.
Yeah.
They have the piece of Savitar. And what?
Sorry, I was like, is she though?
Well, I really, really appreciated the fact that they were like, yo, Jesse, like, we appreciate it, but, like, down girl. And she was like, hey, yo, brothers. These are all direct quotes, by the way. Like,
It's like I'm watching the episode all over again.
I know. She was like, hey, I am the Flash on my Earth. I save the day regularly. That was a great reminder.
Oh, absolutely.
I needed that as a viewer to, like, kind of respect her again.
It's, you know, when HR said the whatever dumb misogynistic thing he said, I thought to myself, what, you know, like I'm angry, but also like, is she capable? And then she was like, wait, I have my own Earth and the savior there.
Yeah.
Went, oh, she is capable.
Yeah.
She is just as great as them. She also has longer, like more experience than Wally does. She's been working solo.
Well, no, Jay Garrick's on that Earth.
No.
It's just her. Because she's on Earth 2. Jay Garrick's on Earth 3.
So I thought he was on that Earth, and that is why she was able to come to this Earth and leave that Earth unprotected.
Nah.
She left it unprotected.
Yeah.
Because she wanted to be with her boyfriend
Totally.
on an Earth that has 2 flashes.
Right.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
She had a vacation.
Yeah.
She had a honeymoon.
I think my biggest issue when she left, though, was your dad's going to be livid that you, like, left his Earth to be with the man you love and then left that for something else completely and didn't tell him.
Right.
He's going to be so angry. That was my thought was, girl, go visit your dad first.
Yeah. There's got to be a moment where they get a call from Harry being like, hey, let me talk to Jesse. And they're like, ooh.
She left like 3 months ago.
I really wanted a scene where like Jesse and Wally are like leaving a date and it's a movie night and they've seen Get Out. And they're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They're like, that's us.
Back to the Flash.
Yeah, that happened. Those deleted scenes.
Yeah, there was a moment
Okay.
when a bunch of people were, voting for bidding on Wally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
you.
Savitar absorb when finally they track him down. They're fighting. Yay, Jesse Quick and Savitar. She throws a bolt of lightning, which I've been wanting to happen the entire season, and he absorbs it and throws it back.
Yeah.
That was badass.
That's a god move.
But like her following the his
Yes, his spike.
spear,
Spike.
whatevs.
Yeah.
When she's following it, I was like, "Girl, do not let him catch that. Like he wants that back to hurt you.
Yeah.
Don't let go of it. Like hold on to it and follow." God, it's like they've never seen Once Upon a Time. Like you hold on to the magical object. Tiana's not here to make this reference.
Wow.
You hold on to the object when you are searching. You don't let go of it.
What's that, Tiana? She says you're right.
I know.
Great. That's settled.
Someone on Twitter pointed out a really great point that the last few episodes of The Flash, they've been showing Savitar, who's not CGI.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Because they're trying to tell us that it's a real person. And this really confirms that it is a real, obviously they said that, a real person under the suit. It is a suit. And we stab him. He feels pain, as HR said. Tari, as our comic book expert, did you expect that? Is that what you thought would happen?
Before you answer, I want to give a shout out to Chris on Twitter who did send this to us.
Ah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go on.
Well, in the comics, he's there's no suit. He's just a dude.
A god?
Yes. He calls himself a god.
So
You
do
know,
I, though.
but- right. So you could be Savitar for all you want.
Spoiler.
Oh. Get to your typewriters. Tell everyone.
I think that the suit just, sometimes the suit looks better as CGI. The first half of the season, it was like badass.
It's a little more menacing when it is, mostly because when it's CGI, it has all the like glowy bits.
Yes.
Whereas like when it's in a live action, it's kind of dark and it's big because like there's a dude in there.
And when you can see it live action and the actual texture, you're like, oh, maybe he's not a god. You know, it's like more humanizing and more like possibly built, a little more like Transformer-esque.
Mm.
Yeah. Anything else in the chat?
Yes.
No, everyone's well. People are pointing out that sometimes on Once Upon a Time they do like the object.
Okay.
That's what the chat's on. Sorry.
Okay, if you're in the chat, don't say anything about Once Upon a Time. I don't want to read it. That's a joke. That was sarcasm. I don't care. Is that show still on TV?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Jared in the chat says they showed his back before and he had a suit. He's just a regular guy.
I just imagine like a 90-minute sequence where he's like putting on the entire suit. And he's like, oh, God, it took so long.
I imagine it being a lot easier than squeezing everybody else into their leather Flash costumes.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a lot easier. It's going to be a lot more like clipping things on.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's a black outfit with clip-on plastic.
Right, because they even have to do 2 separate cuts for when Barry puts on and takes off his hood.
Right.
Like that's a whole thing.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
So I'm sure this is easier.
Okay, do we think that Savitar's identity is somebody that we will recognize?
After this episode, I think that it's Jay Garrick.
Okay.
Well, because he's in the prison and he's like, it's my time, it is. I think he's going to be there long enough to get so angry that Barry never came back for him.
And he has those powers. Mm-hmm. That's a really great point.
Not to get prediction-y, but at this episode I went, oh, maybe that's what happened.
That'd be interesting.
That would make sense.
Thank you.
I think it definitely has to be someone that we know. I feel like, however, it's gotta be like an HR or a Julian because they're season specific people, and also like they are the least likely in terms of like I think that they have the furthest to go from where they are to becoming Savitar to where it would be shocking.
Mm-hmm. I know that Julian is alchemy, but that aside, he's kind of, to me, the least obvious person. Just because, yes, he plays like a little bit of like a saltier character, but he's not evil. He's very logical. He's like helps the team a lot. I think it's like too helpful.
Jamie in the chat says, I predict HR is Savitar because both Savitar and HR are the ones who call Wally Wallace. And he seems very suspicious, I believe. Alley Cat Diva says, it would be super fun if we unmask him and then we unmask him this season, but then met the character next season. And then see that he's super nice but becomes evil based on how he's treated. I think it'd be really interesting, though, if they do it that way.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So well, that'd be cool because then you get to spend the whole next season knowing, and then it's them trying to like stop him from becoming evil.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
I like that. Who was that again?
That was from hold on, Alley Cat Diva.
Alley Cat Diva, you so good. You so cool.
What a diva.
Ivan claims that that showrunners confirmed we won't see Savitar's face, but the characters will, but we will not.
Interesting.
I don't know what that means. I mean, I know what it means. I don't know
Links
like,
or it didn't happen.
Process it.
Yeah.
Click, sir, it didn't happen.
Fascinating.
Please tweet the proof.
Interesting. Okay, so we have not really talked. We didn't dance around the Iris and Barry relationship. They had a talk before. He said, like, do you still love me? And she was like, I don't know. Cut, print. And then they came back. And she says, I want to marry you. And he says, yo, bro, I'm over it. You're gonna die. I don't want to do this.
Yeah. Sound logic.
It
He's
didn't
like,
make sense.
It
don't wanna
was
get
so dumb.
Just marry her.
Okay, so I was all against this engagement, but I'm even more so against the way that they're calling it off. Because she was like, I've decided I love you and I want to marry you, so we're going to do this. What should have come out of his mouth next was, I'm going to repropose when I save you.
Yes.
That is what he should have said. Because they want to be together. They want to get married. They want to save her.
Right.
There's no reason
Right.
to not just go, we're going to table this until I save you because I love you and we're going to be together. But no, he goes, I need space. No, you do not. No, you don't. She's going to die and you need to spend time with her before she's gone.
Not unless he can save her.
Yeah, but-
by being apart from her. I mean, so
Yes.
I agree that it was a really weird series of events. However, I mean, if you remember, Barry and Iris, they accelerated their relationship 100 times, mostly because he was afraid of her dying. He found out she was gonna die, then he's like, we're moving in together. Then he like figured out little pieces of the future and was like, all right, we're gonna get married. So it's all a means to an end, as opposed to things that like are part of his love for her. So like I get him wanting to kind of take a step back and reassess like what he really feels about the whole situation. He loves her, yes, and being with her every day is going to be very hard, because he knows that she's potentially going to die and it's going to make him do dumb things. So he's like distancing himself so he won't do dumb things anymore.
Because he hasn't loved her since they were like 8.
Yeah,
And
but-
hasn't wanted to be with her since they were like 8. And hasn't pined for her until they got together. And now they're together. And hasn't lived with her before when they lived at Joe's.
That was different. That was like unrequited love. And this is like,
Love?
it's romantic love with the addition of like a god complex character.
I think it's immature love. I think it's
Yes.
cruel and unusual what he's doing to her now, especially since like they moved in, they got engaged, and yes, his motives for doing those things were not good, but they all came from the place of I'm madly in love with this girl. And so say like, hey, I'm madly in love with you, but like, why don't we just like, I want to marry you like many years from now because I'm gonna save you.
Right. The chat, Billie Jean Girl says they're idiots. Barry and Iris are both stupid idiots. Casket says the whole West Allen relationship is dumb. Hashtag Snowberry for life.
Oh shit.
The Snowberry squad has arrived.
I just was so annoyed with the scene because the beginning of it was fantastic. It was what I wanted him to say, which was, you're gonna die and it's been consuming me. It's all I can think about. And I was like, yes, speak truth to it, brother. Yes. And then he goes off into the like, I don't know, like Tinder's fun.
I just really like, sir, you proposed, you love her, you do want to be with her, the future knows that you want to be with her and that you're going to end up together. The words, I will propose after I save you, or we will get married after I save you, or I know we have a future because I'm going to save you, those are romantic words.
I agree. And know what else are romantic words? I'm tired of this. Let's go to predictions.
Okay.
That is romantic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now,
I thought you were going to say, like and subscribe on iTunes. Make sure you hit that like button. Thumbs up.
So next week we have the musical episode.
Yay!
They've been taunting since this summer. I'm so excited.
excited.
It's also like all Glee and alumni back together.
Yep.
Does anyone have anything specific to say? I'm just super excited to see it.
I'm so excited because of the cast members that they're like bringing in from the other shows. John Barrowman's gonna be in it.
His voice is so good.
Yeah, if you are not familiar with his work, how dare you?
Oh, I just remembered I met him at Comic-Con. Oh, this isn't a story I can tell on air.
Okay.
I met him at Comic-Con last year, and he was a lovely person.
Great.
Yep, I've also had experiences like that with him.
I have
He's
not.
lovely.
I need to meet him at a con. Oh, man.
Yes, you have to.
So I said last week that I think it's non-canon. And I still feel like it's non-canon. Like,
What do you mean?
by non-canon, I mean
No, what is non-canon?
the musical episode.
Oh, got it.
I still feel like he's gonna everything is gonna happen, but it's not gonna affect any of the people on the different shows. Like, it's just gonna be a standalone
Capsulate.
episode.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that it's a like what if episode and not an actual story in
Right.
either show.
And yet, if they die in the musical, they die in real life.
Yes, in our hearts.
Right, because the Flash and Supergirl are gonna die in the musical episode in the middle of a season.
Yeah.
What if
That would be-
Supergirl's the show was like, okay, by the way, Supergirl died on a different show, but like we're gonna keep going.
Yeah, but we cloned her, so don't worry about it.
yeah.
Enjoy that.
That'd be so great if that show just starts like a new storyline. It's all Guardian all the time here on Supergirl.
I swear, we talked about it on the Supergirl after show, but I think that was supposed to be a backdoor pilot.
I don't know what you're
would
talking
watch.
about.
Guardian as a character, it doesn't matter.
Daryl
Okay.
in the chat says the writers say that it is important to both shows, and that that dog says it's another world. So apparently, it is another world, but it also does affect the shows.
Okay, well, we will find out next week. Does
Yeah.
anybody have anything else to say before I sign off?
Yes,
Go
go.
ahead.
Tari, start.
I have a season prediction. So I have been thinking about Savitar and the fact that it's a suit, and I feel like it would be really cool. And so this is my official prediction that the suit that is created was created for Caitlin Snow to contain her powers. That's why it glows the same as the amulet they gave her. And then she ends up being, and essentially the way that they power it is it filters in Speed Force to keep it powered, and that's why she has access to the Speed Force, and that is and it eventually goes insane that way.
That's an
So-
interesting prediction.
That is crazy.
What if when
I like
when
it.
Jesse Quick stabbed inside a suit, you heard, ow, ow, Jesse, ow. That's an awesome prediction. Yo, can you top that?
No, that's such a cool prediction. I like my J one because it made sense. I also think I may have stolen this from the chat or based on something someone said in the chat. What if it's Barry?
Future Barry.
Yeah, what if Future or Barry goes down? I think someone said something about Dark
But
Barry.
I thought that Barry trapped the Savitar, though.
Yeah, so I think that, like, you know how sometimes we make two Barrys when he runs fast
Yeah,
enough?
the time remnants.
Thank you. Yeah, so what if he makes a time remnant who comes and is real and then is evil and he has to because it's future Barry
And that
imprisons
is
him.
also why he couldn't kill it, because it's himself.
Right.
Maybe.
Wow.
Jamie in the chat says that suit is way too big for Caitlyn, and I say wrong.
I say, why cover up
you
her
don't
face? She's so pretty. All right, guys, this has been so much fun. Thank you for joining us. And you're in the chat and the Twitter, everywhere else. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters 1.
Oh, I'm Yael Tygiel. I'm everywhere at Yael Tygiel. That's YAELTYGIEL. I'm here at AfterBuzz on other shows such as Grimm for the final season and Switch to Birth for the final season. And SVU comes back next week, plus Legion Wednesday nights. Heck yeah.
And I'm Tauri J. Miller. You can find me at Tauri J. That's TURIJAY. You can also find me here on the CWDC. Maybe TV's late. That is Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, also Grimm. Not a part of that slate, but also a thing I do.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz. See you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.